Usually when a dog starts barking, it's because of the pesky squirrel in the tree outside the window, or the man passing by the front yard. It's almost always something you can point your finger at and say, "That's the reason my pooch is losing his mind." This is why one woman was more than confused when her dog started barking at seemingly nothing and wouldn't stop. But as she slowly uncovered the source of her pooch's irritation, it became clear that her life was in danger. When a dog named Kaylee started growling and barking on the morning of December 30th, 2016, it wasn't necessarily out of character at first. Behavior problems and trust issues made her a difficult dog to get along with. See, the 3-year-old Shepherd mix didn't have a very happy origin story. She spent months on DeKalb County Animal Services adoption list, waiting for someone to scoop her up and give her a home. But after a year, hope was running out. If she wasn't adopted, Kaylee would be euthanized. But the problem was Kaylee's troubled background meant that she often snapped at people. She wasn't always the calm, trusting dog that families wanted. Too often, humans had let her down. Until one couple saw that she just needed a second chance. Dog owners Keith Santer-Purim and Jacqueline Berlin knew Kaylee was scared of strangers and that a home would put her at ease. So they decided to foster her. Still, they couldn't keep her forever. They knew they needed to convince the world of how amazing Kaylee was. They wanted her to have a real home, where she'd feel loved for the rest of her life. So Jacqueline turned to Facebook. Jacqueline knew that Kaylee needed a very specific kind of owner. Do you like to be alone or just with a close friend? Is an evening at home, cuddling a loved one watching Netflix, your idea of bliss? Meet your doggy soulmate, Kaylee, Jacqueline wrote. Jacqueline described Kaylee as a Velcro dog who wants nothing more than to be with you. Kaylee was a perfect match for someone who prefers cozy nights in to wild nights out on the town. Berlin waited anxiously for a response. Well, Susie Chandler's response would change Kaylee's life. The story of what Kaylee had been through, it just pulled on our heartstrings, Susie said. We just thought we'd be the perfect people for her. But only time would tell if Susie's hunch was correct. After bringing Kaylee home, Susie had the lingering doubts that any pet owner would have. Would Kaylee coexist well with her other pets? Would she truly be a good fit with the Chandlers? Or had Kaylee just been through too much? But her fears were soon lifted. Kaylee settled in nicely at her new home and even bonded with Susie's other dog. Instead of being scared, Kaylee started to trust humans again. Because of this, that morning growl in December came as a shock. On that day, Kaylee's demeanor suddenly changed. Though she had only had Kaylee for a short time, Susie knew Kaylee wouldn't just growl for no reason. She was growling and barking consistently throughout the morning, and Susie had no clue why. While it had taken time for Kaylee to warm up to Susie, she was as sweet as any dog. It just didn't make sense. So as Kaylee barked, Susie tried to figure out what to do. Maybe a relaxing walk would help Kaylee calm down. She knew she had to give it a shot, so Susie put Kaylee on a leash and walked outside. Everything looked normal, but Kaylee only barked louder. Susie was more confused than ever, until Kaylee started tugging on her leash. She pulled me directly over to the side yard, Susie said. Right away, I smelled overpowering gas and heard a loud whooshing sound. It became all too clear what Kaylee was trying to warn Susie about. A gas leak. By barking and growling, the perceptive dog had been trying to warn Susie all day of a dangerous gas leak in her neighborhood. Finally, Susie knew exactly what she needed to do. Immediately, Susie called 911. I just don't take chances on people's lives like this. It's a dangerous situation. She was right. And if Kaylee hadn't had a Lassie moment, the Chandlers and their neighbors could have been seriously sickened or injured. The neighborhood soon erupted into flashing lights and sirens. While a stunned Susie watched, the firefighters set to work trying to figure out how far the gas leak had spread. The whole time, Kaylee sat and watched, silent for the first time all day. Her story quickly spread across social media and a flurry of praise for the brave pup. The once abandoned dog who had been so close to being euthanized saved numerous lives and was now being praised as a hero. Susie agreed that Kaylee's deed was heroic. She's our hero dog, she said proudly. Susie's love for Kaylee was apparent even before Kaylee's heroic act. And she's using Kaylee's fame to spread the word about a very important topic. If you have room in your heart to take in a needy animal, it comes back to you tenfold, she said, imploring people to look into pet adoption. People like Jacqueline and Susie know just how special and heroic a dog can be.